Thanks for joining us on our NBC Palm Springs YouTube and Facebook pages. It is our NFL 2022 preview. Tali Latoy, I'm Tim O'Brien. We're going to go through each division. We'll go see who's going to win. We're going to have our predictions, our Super Bowl winner,
yes,
and then our MVP.
Exactly, and with little bias, absolutely little bias.
It's so hard when you go through it because of course, you want your team to go 17-0. It's not realistic.
You never know.
You've got Tali rocking her LA Chargers gear. I'm rocking my Minnesota Vikings gear, even though I sometimes wish I wasn't a Vikings fan. For the love of God, thanks,
Loyalty.
Dad.
Loyalty.
Yeah, for sure. You can't change teams halfway through it.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. All right, so let's get into the NFC West. You've got your defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. I have them finishing at the top of the division yet again. Now, you got your San Francisco 49ers, Trey Lance. They got rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, he's their backup now, but he's still with the team. Trey will start. Arizona Cardinals, Cliff Kingsbury, Kyler Murray don't necessarily get along. I don't know how that relationship's going to work out. And then Drew Lock, Geno Smith. Anytime that's your two options at quarterback, you're not going to do so well. Geno Smith is single-handedly the worst quarterback in the league right now. And that's also coming from a guy that I grew up in New York. Jets, not a good dude, so.
And yeah, Tim, I agree. But if you take a look at my full screen, it's a little bit different. Let's take a look at who I have at the top because it's similar. I also have the reigning champs winning their division, but I have the Cardinals ahead of the Niners. Now, I don't really like the Niners. Maybe that's just who I am. But the Cardinals have DeAndre Hopkins. Kyler Murray has just been trending upwards, and I really do feel that he'll have a really good season this year. And like I said, no one really cares about Seattle, so that's why they're at the bottom. Sorry, not sorry. But you still have three top teams, but all we both know, we can both agree that the Rams are really going to take this one.
Yeah, 2 and 3 are interchangeable there. I think Kyler Murray can have a great year. I think he's got something to prove, right? He didn't have the best offseason, so he wants to prove himself. And then, of course, with the San Francisco 49ers, that's one of those teams that can go 9-8 or 8-9. It's going to go one way or the other with Trey Lance. So,
especially with health.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting to see. This is important to me, the NFC North now. You see me wearing my Vikings stuff. The Green Bay Packers, everybody's riding high on them. They lost Devontae Adams, never replaced them, even though they have a better defense and the back-to-back two-time MVP champ. But my Minnesota Vikings are going to win that division this year. New head coach Kevin O'Connell is going to get the offense flying. Kirk Cousins is going to turn things around. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. The weapons go on and on and on and on. But KJ Osborne will be the sleeper pick this year, Tali. The Detroit Lions will come in third. Jared Goff, Hard Knocks, they got that going for them. And then the Chicago Bears, I don't see them doing well this year. On my notes here, stink.
They stink. But if we take a look at how I have them set up, I'm also agreeing that I'm basically agreeing with you on everything because Aaron Rodgers is getting old, and the cheeseheads. I don't know if they're going to get Baccarati, who's begging back beers. He's well known for that. He's also well known for, I don't know if he's going to be healthy yet. So, but also Justin Jefferson, as I said, the future, and I have him on 2 of my fantasy teams for a good reason, and he's one of the top ones. So they're just going to have a really good season, and like you said, the Lions and Bears. Oh my, no one really cares.
You really don't. The Lions are so easy to root for, though, because their head coach, Dan Campbell, he's just one of those guys that you would have a beer with and hang out with. You want him to do well, but he just doesn't necessarily have the team around him. Let's see. It all takes time. We're going to find out.
Exactly.
The NFC South now. This is where I've said earlier this week were my hot takes. I think Jameis Winston has a bounce-back heck of a season, doesn't turn the ball over. I think the Saints win this division. You ready for this? The Tampa Bay Bucks, the only reason I have them second is because they do have the talent. Tom Brady's going to hold them back this year. It's done. It's over. He should have checked out. He should have retired when he said he was. Carolina Panthers have Baker Mayfield. I feel like he has something to prove also. Didn't necessarily play. Got the Browns to the playoffs. I think they could sneak in as a wild card team. I think the Panthers are going to sneak in at some point. Matt Rule might have his job saved. And then you've got the Atlanta Falcons. Marcus Mariota is their starter. Yeah, no thanks. Dead last.
And if we go back to the video and back to what I'm seeing a little bit of a difference there, just because I think that I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are actually on a good one. And I'm not just saying that because it's Tom Brady. Well, maybe I am, because they don't have Gronk, they don't have AB, but they still have Mike Evans, they still have Chris Godwin, and they still have 4 net veterans. And in addition to that, they added Julio Jones, who he even said this morning, Brady said that him and Julio Jones are really getting their chemistry together. So I think if you give Tom Brady, he's a GOAT for a reason. If you give the GOAT pieces, I think he utilizes them all and shocks everyone. But I do think that this could be the end of his career this season. It really should have ended on a high note, but the GOAT's going to do what the GOAT wants to do. But also, as you said, I do like the Saints. They have great defense. But as I said, still going to ride with Tom Brady. There's a lot of hot takes that you have, Tim, and that I think will really...
Tom Brady has never given you a reason to not go with him, right? There's no reason to ever go against him. I just, for some reason, maybe it's part of me just doesn't want to see him succeed anymore. Like, enough. You've done everything you physically possibly could in that league. You have nothing to prove. Here's the biggest hot take of them all. You ready? They're going to start 0-3. There's trouble at home in Tom's world with Giselle. He's going to retire halfway through the season. He's say, I'm holding you guys back. I'm sorry I came back. I'm going to go take that $375 million from Fox Sports.
You're going to take the over or under 5 games? I think I'm going to take the over.
Yeah, I think you still got to take the over. but I don't think they're going to be as good as people. Some people have them winning the Super Bowl again, like getting back and not just getting there, winning it. So
you never know. Super fans.
Yeah, no doubt. NFC East now. This is a tricky one because I just... It could be the Eagles, could be the Cowboys. I don't trust the Commanders and Carson Wentz or Daniel Jones and the Giants. But Dak Prescott is going, that's as good as he does and as far as he goes is how far the Cowboys will go. You lose Amari Cooper. They didn't really replace him, but you still got CeeDee Lamb, which is a stud athlete. Philadelphia Eagles, a lot of people have them winning the division. I just don't trust Jalen Hurts. I think they may be the most complete team in the division. And then you've got the Commanders with Carson Wentz. Ron Rivera, their head coach, said on a talk show recently, he's probably the most talented quarterback he's ever had. Can you trust Carson Wentz? He had the Colts around him last year who were better than the Commanders, and he didn't do all that hot. So, and then the Giants, they're at a crossroads with Daniel Jones. If they go 8-9, you're in the middle of the pack of the draft, no good. You've got to go 3-4 wins this year to get a high pick, get a quarterback, and get rid of Daniel Jones.
Yeah, Danny Dimes really peaked a couple years ago, and since then we really haven't seen much. But, Tim, this is really not my favorite division, most of all, just because it's my least favorite because usually they're all around the same towards the bottom. Yeah. But if I have to go with anyone, let's go with the Eagles because I really feel like Jalen Hurts is going to have a good year. A.J. Brown, good offensive line. He's trending positively, more accuracy, more touchdowns. And I only put I put them above the Cowboys because their left tackle is out, and I really feel like that's going to hurt them and protecting the quarterback and also, you know, making sure that their run game is there. So that's just really important. That's the only reason why I put the Eagles. I really feel like it's a fly, Eagles fly. You know, I don't know if the Birds make it past all the way to the Super Bowl, but I really do feel like they will take this NFC East. And then, like you said, Danny Dimes and the Giants, not really winning anything this year. Maybe in the next couple of years, just really not this year.
That man there, you see, Saquon Barkley. It's going to depend on him. If he stays healthy, maybe they do finish above the Commanders, but he has not shown you at all at any point in his career that he can stay on the field. So I've got the Rams, Vikings, Cowboys, and Saints in the NFC, and you had...
I have the Eagles, I have Tampa Bay, I have the Vikings, and I have the Rams.
All right, it'll be interesting to see. We're going to get to our Super Bowl picks here coming up at the end of this, but let's switch sides now over to the AFC, and we'll start out here in the AFC West, which could arguably be the best division in the entire sport. All 4 teams could make the playoffs, could figure it out, and all finish above 500. I'm going with your LA Chargers. In the past, have the Chargers started hot and then they can't complete it and finish the end of the year? Yes. I don't think that's the Brandon Staley, Justin Herbert. It's happening this year for the LA Chargers. The Chiefs, yes, they did lose Tyreek Hill, but this gives Patrick Mahomes a chance to open up the offense and play. I think he actually has a better year than he has in the last few, but I still have them finishing second. You've got Russell Wilson with the Denver Broncos now. Again, could be the most complete team in the division. The defense is otherworldly, but it's just too competitive. It's too hard. The Vegas Raiders, you've got Josh McDaniel out there. Derek Carr is a stud, but I can still see them finishing last in the division. You can have a great year and finish last in this division. Buckle up. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite, and I'm not just saying that because it's my division. I'm actually saying that because who isn't in this division? Juju came to this division as well as all these amazing quarterbacks. You know, it's the most unpredictable division to me. But what I'm predicting is also with my Chargers at the top because Justin Herbert is amazing. I feel like Staley, you know, he learned a lot in the last year with a lot of, you know, decision making that he made, and he just knew that this is not the way. You know, he knows he has to take his medicine before he turns into another one. So I really feel like the Chargers just have everything. We added all those defensive pieces on the other side of the ball to complement what we had going on the offense. So I really do feel like this is our year. You have Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson is also looking very healthy. You have that in addition to Joey Bosa, Derwin James. It's really just a stacked card, and you can look stacked on paper, but we never know what happens after. So I'm really going to go with them. Derek Carr and the Raiders are at the bottom, but also, as I said, they're all just good teams. You have Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson's going to do amazing, but with the Raiders, you also have Derek Carr and Davante Adams now, and a lot of people don't remember that they played together at Fresno State, so there's a lot of chemistry there. So I'm just saying, like, all these teams are going to do really well. But at the end of the day, it's Jay Herbo all day.
Yeah, I read a story recently that Davante Adams and Derek Carr were on a boating trip or a rafting trip together, and they actually almost died. One saved the other swimming or whatever. I'm not sure of it entirely, but like that bond goes back before college.
And that's going to translate to the field.
Yeah, maybe. Like a 10-7 fourth place team, like that's insane.
Exactly, and that's probably what we're going to see, so you never know.
All right, now let's get into the AFC North, where you've got your defending AFC champion, Cincinnati Bengals. I think they do it again. Joey Burrow has proven himself. I think he's going to bounce back and have an even better year than he did last year. He'll stay healthy. The line has improved to protect him. The Baltimore Ravens, interesting. You've got Lamar Jackson on a contract year. He has not signed. They won't continue talks through the season until it's over. I don't know if there's any animosity there. He might be a little upset. I know it's been talked about in the past. He deleted his Instagram and wiped it of Raven stuff, but I got them finishing second. Mitch Trubisky as the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback is weird because he just wasn't very good in Chicago. They don't have Big Ben for the first time since 1978. I don't know. He's been around forever. But I still see them finishing above the Cleveland Browns because you've got Jacoby Brissett. You don't have Deshaun Watson until, I believe, week 13 or 12 in Houston. Out of all places, he's going to come back after his suspension is up. But the Cleveland Browns, I think 3 and 4 you could flip there. 1 and 2 you could flip. But that's my prediction this season for the AFC North.
Yeah, and when I look at this, it's more of the division of who has the best offensive line. As we saw in the Super Bowl, that the Bengals were exposed that they didn't really have a good offensive line. And that's why I'm trending towards the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, because I feel like he's going to have a really good year with the running back J.K. Dobbins. But the Bengals still have good options. They have Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and of course Joey Burrow, Joey Shiesty could do it again. But I really love these two young quarterbacks in this division. And then also the Browns have a great offensive line. They have Chubb. But I don't know if that's enough to get them up to win this division. You
know, I think if Deshaun Watson had a full season, even though he didn't play last year, he is that talented. I could see the Browns maybe sliding up to second in that division. Look, Baker Mayfield led the team to the playoffs. So I think Deshaun Watson would be able to do the same. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But you'll see Bengals and Ravens just beat the heck out of each other.
And that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Could even be a playoff matchup. Let's head now to the South. You've got your AFC South. Your Indianapolis Colts are going to knock the Tennessee Titans off for the top spot. I think Matt Ryan has got a little more life in him. It got flat, complacent in Atlanta. Never got over that 28-3 blown lead in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. I think Matt Ryan shows a second life here in the NFL and has a heck of a season. And plus, they've got a guy named Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. That helps. Yes. He was the #1 pick in everybody's fantasy draft across the globe. The Titans are still good. The only problem is I've never cared for Ryan Tannehill. You don't know what Tannehill you're going to get.
Speaking of Tannehill.
Yeah, there he is. Vrabel has done a good job as a coach. He's a good defensive guy. Only time can tell. I do think you got Doug Peterson with his Super Bowl experience when he was the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. Trevor Lawrence is going to bounce back. He's talented. He's going to have a good year. I could see them hovering 500 toward the end of the year when it gets tough. I wouldn't be surprised if they snuck in maybe the Jags as a last, a 7th seed. And then the Texans, I think Davis Mills is the kid's name, is their quarterback. And I don't know. I mean, cool. Good luck.
Go Texans, right? No. But if we look at my, how I laid this out, I really feel that the Colts are also going to run their way into the offseason with Jonathan Taylor leading the way, because he had a breakout last year and he just kept it going. And like you said, everyone put them on their fantasy team. Unfortunately, I was not first, or else he would definitely be my choice over McCaffrey. But I also think that they added talent on defense. They're loading up. Offensive line's good. It's really just a good year to just run their way right through everyone else. The Titans, they lost their pass rusher, Harold Landry. He's out for the season, but they still have big dog Eric Henry, so I'm not really counting them out.
Yeah. it's going to be interesting to see with Derrick Henry because he is a stud, right? I don't think he got the same respect last year as he did 2 years ago. He wasn't a huge fantasy pick again, and we talk about fantasy, but people actually pay attention. There's clout in fantasy when it comes to translating onto the field. So, but I do believe the Colts, I could see the Colts, if even shocking teams, maybe getting to Super Bowl. I really do. They're that talented. And last but not least, let's get over to the AFC East, where I don't think anybody under the sun would argue that the Buffalo Bills will win this division, may even go on to win the AFC. We're going to talk about that coming up in a moment. A lot of people are high because of Mike McDaniels, the new head coach of the Miami Dolphins. I personally don't trust Tua Tagovailoa. Did I say that right? Tagovailoa, yeah. Anyway, I don't like him. I personally don't think he's that good. The Jets will have a better year than they did last year, for what that's worth. That means they're probably only going to have 5 or 6 wins now this season. Joey Flacco is going to take Zach Wilson under his wing with the Jets, so I think they'll finish third. And this is one that I'll probably catch some for from people that watch this. The New England Patriots are finally done. Bill Belichick, it's over, pal. Belichick, you're done. Tom Brady, you're done. Enough is enough. Now, I like Mac Jones. I think he's a good quarterback. He just doesn't have the pieces around him.
Exactly.
Patriots are done. They're going to finish.
Takes more than just a good quarterback, and we've seen that.
Yeah, and Bill Belichick's going to be looking up at the standings all season long. Go Bills.
Go Bills. I agree with you because I don't see anyone beating the Bills in this, but I do have to say that Tua Tagovailoa was one of my favorite quarterbacks that I really was hoping that the Chargers got in the draft, but I'm so happy we got Jay Herbo.
It worked out.
Exactly. It worked out very well. So that's why I'm going to go with the Bills still, but I still have the Miami Dolphins right there. So they won out last season. They made that incredible final run last year, and it just wasn't enough. But they also added Mostert, and if he's healthy, he's good. They also added Edmonds, and let's never forget Cheetah, Tyreek Hill.
Right.
So they have a lot of assets there, and they have the potential to, actually get some pieces together. They have that first-year coach as well. So it's just going to be, you just don't know how it's going to play out. It takes more than just stacking your card and stacking your roster than to actually, execute. So I think that, sorry, I'm just not a Jets fan. No matter how bad you are, I just don't think you're ever as bad as the Jets. And that's why I just have, and I will never count out Bill Belichick and what he can do. Right. So, I mean, regardless if they start 0-3 and then just win out the season, I really see, him doing that because you never know with Bill.
What is your one crazy hot take? Like it's gonna, if it happens, people are gonna look at you right now and say you're out of your mind, Tolly. But
I would say that the Chargers win the Super Bowl, and that's what I'm gonna go with because it really is. Speaking of our Super Bowl picks.
No, go ahead, Ben. You can go ahead and pop that back up.
Go pop it up because everyone needs to see what Tim's looking at because I'm thinking that the Chargers have all the pieces on both sides of the ball. They saw Max Crosby eat up their tackle last year of their offensive line, and they got more additions to that. And then they also added defensive pieces way better than what I expected. So that's why I'm going with the LA Rams and the LA Chargers. So that's my hot take, is that the Chargers are going to beat the Rams. It really doesn't matter who they're up against, and that's who I'm picking.
I actually have the opening night NFL matchup to kick off the season. It'll resurface back again in Phoenix for Super Bowl 57. Rams, Bills. I have the Buffalo Bills beating the Rams. It'll be the first Super Bowl in franchise history for the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen and company are going to party. That city is going to be electric. It's one of those things that you have to go to even if you're not a fan, just to say you were there.
Absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. I think that, you really can't be mad at the Bills or Josh Allen because they really just had like a Cinderella moment all last year. And I mean, you always want to root for the underdog. But for the game on Thursday, they weren't the underdogs. I can't believe that the Rams were, the underdogs by 2.5 points, which is really crazy to me.
2.5 points at home, the defending Super Bowl champ. I don't know this off the top of my head. I'd love to know when the last time a Super Bowl champ opened up at home and they were a dog in the eyes of Vegas. I don't know.
They probably saw Aaron Donald without a shirt on drinking, and they were at the parade, and they were like, yep, they're not winning the first game.
Super Bowl hangover, which is possible.
All the way down.
I do like the Bills in the opening night. I do. I think they're going to win the game. I think I would take the over, which is what now?
I think it was at 52 the last time we checked.
I think it's just there's gonna be any defense tonight. Yeah. It's just gonna fly back and forth on the field.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's bring Tolly's graphic up again, Ben, for the Super Bowl if we can.
Just so everyone knows.
All LA.
I'm saying the Battle of LA because I really feel like the Chargers and the Rams gave up so much and added so much, invested so much. So of course they needed to win the Super Bowl last year. So let's see if they can do it again and make it there. And I think they do. And the Chargers also.
It's the San Diego Chargers. Can we just say that? can we just say San Diego forever?
It really is.
I can't get behind LA.
I'm sorry. It's a battle of Southern California.
Yeah. It took me a little bit to get the Rams going. It was growing up. It was the St. Louis Rams,
Exactly.
and now the San Diego Chargers in LA. Have you been to that stadium yet?
I have not. Okay. I'm actually looking at tickets now.
We gotta look to do a Sunday show up there.
Absolutely. Or even if like the Raiders Stadium Allegiant looks super nice.
Looks like a spacecraft from the outside.
I know. That's why we gotta go in there.
So Tali, with her Charger logos on, is going with the hometown Chargers for her to win her Super Bowl. I would love nothing more than to pick the Minnesota Vikings to win the Super Bowl, but I've watched them get destroyed in 4 NFC Championship games in my lifetime. I know better than to bet them. I do think they make the playoffs because they're going to win the division, but I don't think they sniff the Super Bowl by any means. Not yet. Give Kevin O'Connell and company maybe 2 or 3 more seasons. Yeah. See what we can get out of Kirk. I'm going with the Bills. Going with the Chargers. That would be a cool matchup, too.
I want to say that the Bills were actually the big favorite to win the Super Bowl. I think they were at plus 600, and then the Chargers were at 1,400, plus 1,400. So, I mean, the Bills are the big favorites to take down. So that's crazy to me.
Right. It's going to be interesting for sure. All right, so we went over the Super Bowl predictions, you with the Chargers, myself with the Bills. I think you're going to like this. Now, it's important to note, Tali and I did not talk about our division picks. We didn't talk about our Super Bowl picks or our MVPs, not once. So it's going to be really cool to see Tali's reaction right now, because for MVP this year, it's not going to be Aaron Rodgers, because he's not even going to win his division. He's not. He may have a decent year because he's that good, but he's not winning the MVP for a 3rd straight year. It's going to be Justin Herbert of your LA Chargers.
We love to hear that. This is what we love to see, because, I mean, look at this guy. How can you not love that arm, how he gets out of the pocket? He just does it all. He's a scrambler. He gets along with everyone. I really do agree with that, because, Tim, I'm just going to piggyback off that, not because I'm biased, but because it's the truth. Justin Herbert is going to win MVP, not Josh Allen. Even if Josh Allen wins a Super Bowl, it's going to be Herbie Herb right there, because that's America's team right there.
Kid's got a cannon. He's got an absolute cannon.
Absolutely.
It's not fair.
It's not.
Justin Herbert, your NFL MVP.
Put your bets in now while you can.
Thank you for joining us. Tali Latoy, I'm Tim O'Brien. You can watch this on our NBC Palm Springs YouTube and Facebook page, as well as NBCPalmSprings.com. Tali's going to say go
Chargers.
Yeah, and go Vikings. Have a great season. And we'll see you, of course, every Sunday night here on NBC Palm Springs following the Game of the Week on NBC.